Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another video, emergency video. World War III is here. 2025. Or maybe not, maybe it's a little early to call because obviously nothing ever happens. But maybe something's happening, but probably not because nothing ever really happens. Lol, I think this is funny. Anyways, we're being more consistent on this channel. So today I have for you guys the top 10 reasons why World War III ultimately benefits you. Why World War III ultimately benefits you. Unironic, completely my beliefs. Everything I say in this video is absolutely true, and I believe it. If you can't tell that's sarcasm, you might be retarded, Your Honor. All right, reason number 1. Free healthcare. What do I mean by this? What do I mean when I say you get free healthcare with World War III? Well, here we go. If you're dead, you don't need healthcare, so it's free. If you don't need it, it's free, practically. But if there are no hospitals because they've all been bombed, like in a certain place in the Middle East, you can't have healthcare. And if you can't have it, that's equivalent to free, because not having and free are the same thing. If it doesn't exist and you can't have it, well, you might as well accept it. And there's also more money for the NDIS, the National Disability Insurance Scheme, because you know how much we love spending money on that in Australia, because when you step on an IED in the Middle East and you lose your leg, someone's got to fund that. Someone's got to fund your bionic leg, and that'll be the NDIS that we need to fund more because World War III. So think of World War III as a great way to increase taxes and increase funding for the NDIS. Yeah, really, really good. Reason number 2, free food, pre-deployment steak and lobster. Yummy. Yummy. This is so good. We're going to die in the Middle East and they're going to reward us with steak and lobster. I think that's a fair deal. Honest to God, weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East, we know this has happened before. They definitely have them. And, you know, as a reward for us going in there and bombing the shit out of them, they're going to give us free steak and lobster, at least pre-deployment. You may be eating civilians on deployment, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, reason number 3, support of the LGBT. And what do I mean by this? I don't mean the lesbians, gays, bis, and trannies. I mean Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, Boeing, and Texas Instruments, and every other military industrial complex company under the sun. How does this work? Well, you see, when countries expend munitions, which are of limited supply, they must purchase more munitions. And the purchasing of more munitions means the stock price of these companies and more go up. So us smart investors are going to make lots of money off the death of many, 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 many civilians and children in the Middle East. Yay. This is what we like to see. It's incredible. I love to see the military industrial complex grow because I want to see more innovation in the field of aircraft and tanks. Yes, I do. This is so cool. I can't wait to be bombed by a plane I'll never see. The B-2 bomber, or the, the stealth bomber. It's embarrassing that I can't remember it, but that big Dorito is pretty fucking badass, man. All right, reason number 4, living space for Bosnians. You see, Bosnia is a very small country, and their neighbors. You see, okay, let me explain this. 6,000 years ago, God promised to the Bosnians the land of Bosnia, which is actually currently all of Yugoslavia, or what was once Yugoslavia. So 6,000 years ago, God promised that to them. This is their religious text. And there are people who are living in that land that shouldn't be. And right now, there's a wall set up. So I think the Bosnians need to go into the surrounding countries like Herzegovina and Croatia and Serbia and whatnot, and they need the living space because God promised this land to them 6,000 years ago, and they were here beforehand. All right, reason number 5, use the wasted military funding. So countries around the world spend billions on their military and their defense every year despite not being at war. Curious. This seems a little silly to me. If we're at war, at least we're spending the money. I mean, the US spends like, what, nearly $1 trillion a year on defense, and they're not using it. So we should use this budget and actually go and kill people in the Middle East. Again, there's a lot of oil in the Middle East. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. And I'm sure the Bosnians in the government have nothing to do with it either. But hey, we could decrease the American deficit, but not only the American deficit, but international deficits and European deficits. We could decrease them by using the nukes that we stockpile, because you see, stockpiling nukes comes with all sorts of costs, maintenance costs. But if we just use them, then we can immediately write those costs off. Imagine how many millions, how many billions of dollars a year we could save by using the nuclear bombs. All right, reason number 6, throw up the set.
As my first order of business, I hereby declare martial law.
America. Fuck yeah. Reason number 7, for further emphasis. Reason number 8. When we nuked Japan in World War II, or when the Americans, because I'm not an American, when they nuked Japan in World War II, we were rewarded with cute Japanese femboys. So it would stand to reason that when we do nuke Iran, because that's coming, and it'll be so not funny, but kind of funny, but I'm not laughing at the deaths of civilians, I'm just laughing at the situation, then certainly in 75 years or so, we'll be blessed with cute Iranian femboys with beards, because they're Middle Eastern. Reason number 9. All right, this is an interesting one. Supplying loans to surviving Iranians to prop up the international Bosnian banking scheme. So obviously when we do nuke Iran, Bosnia are going to get in there because that's what they've always done. They do control the banks. This is a well-known fact. The Bosnians control the banks. There is an international Bosnian banking scheme in every country. But look at the treasurer of your country. I can almost guarantee his early life page on Wikipedia in some way leads back to Bosnia. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. So let me explain what I mean by this. There are going to be some Iranians, some Middle Easterners who survive this war, this conflict, and they're going to need a lot of money to rebuild the infrastructure in their nations because they're not going to have that money and they're not going to have the oil to sell because that'll all be American oil and it'll be Bosnian land. So to rebuild these facilities, they're going to need loans. And so they're going to take loans from the Bosnians because the Bosnians are going to be the only ones who can afford to give those loans. And they're going to take the loans from the Bosnians and they're going to be in debt to the Bosnians forever. And this will have no long-term consequences and it'll be nothing like the Treaty of Versailles and there will be no World War IV and no Iranian Hitler or anything of the sort. Yeah, there's also the potential here for infinite economic growth due to infinite Indian importation because, you know, when you kill all the Iranians with nuclear bombs, someone's got to live there and so they should just import some of the Infinity Indians that I did explain in the previous video. They're great people, a great net benefit to all societies. So if we just import infinity of them, Iran will be back to full strength in no time. And, you know, there is absolutely no negatives here and there will be no cultural or societal impacts because as you know, as I've mentioned before, if you boil us all, we're all the same on the inside. And you can in fact boil an Indian and turn him Iranian, but not Japanese. That's esoteric lore right there. If you know, you know. Reason number 10, Bosnia gets to use their nuclear weapons. Very swag. And then they'll have none left. Great opportunity. It would be really, really, really not funny if someone were to, I don't know, send all their weapons of mass destruction to Bosnia. But hey, whatever, lol. Reason number 11. It's an epic distraction. World War III is an epic distraction. I think this is the most pertinent issue here. Little bit of a serious moment. Epic distraction. If we're focused on World War III, it's a great opportunity for world governments. World governments. And by world governments, I mean Bosnian governments and the people running them. It's a great opportunity for greater globalism. We saw in the last World War and World War II the emergence of the League of Nations and then eventually the United Nations. And I guarantee you some sort of new world order, as we like to call it, will emerge in the case of a third world war and greater international hegemony and national destruction of national pride. It's a great opportunity to pass legislation. I think we're going to see a lot more big, beautiful bills, if you want to call them that. It's a great opportunity for leaders of nations to take emergency powers and maybe, I don't know, stay in office for a couple more years than they're allowed in their term. But I'm not alleging anything and I'm not an expert on this topic. It may or may not happen. I don't think it's ever happened before. I don't think a single leader has ever in the history of human race used war as a justification to stay in office longer than they're allowed. Constitutional changes. What better justification to radically change the constitution and the rights of the people of your nation than total war? I don't know, I couldn't think of one. As a matter of fact, I don't even think total war is a good enough justification. There's no way they would ever do this, and this has never happened before in the history of mankind. Reason number 12, the Indian Defense Force. Indians love Bosnia. Why? Because Bosnia and India have a great bond, as you can see here, Modi and Bibi Netanyahu. Indian volunteers in the IDF means that we can expend infinite Indians and have no impact on the Indian population, and that would be epic and swag, and the Bosnia Defense Force would be greatly propped up by Indians in the Indian Defense Force. And then we could reward them with blonde-haired, blue-eyed is Bosnia, because we don't want to pay Indians anything, because they'll just send that money back to their home country instead of of spending it in the economy of the nation they moved to, or something. I don't know where I was going with this point. I just thought it would be funny to make fun of Indians and call it the Indian Defense Force. All right, hail Fauci, everyone. And the Fell For It Again award goes to me and all of us who thought that he was our savior.